So we're making Chex snack mix today. It's homemade, not the stuff that you buy in the bag. You're gonna love this so much more. It's so much tasty. The stuff you buy in the bag. Although the bag stuff's pretty good too, but the homemade version is definitely better. Lives in Freeport, Maine. She's the one who actually helped me get this recipe organized so that I could send it all to you and you would have all the ingredients. And of course, my mom, Betty Robbins, who lives on Bailey Island, Maine, she's been making Chex since before I was born. So it's been a recipe in the family for a long, long time. So we're real excited to start with that. Anybody have any questions before we get started, or is everything pretty clear? Everybody remember, wave your hand if you to say yes, okay? Or a thumbs up is good.
Wait, your hand.
Okay. Now,
I need to listen to you.
For those of you who were with us last week, we have to have a few utensils. We need like a fork or a whisk, a big spoon, a white spatula, or you can use the spoon if you don't have the spatula. And we definitely need oven mitts today. We need either kind or something you put over your hand. We want to have oven mitts because we're going to be pulling. At one point, we're going to have a pan that is warm, and we want to make sure that we don't touch the pan with our bare hands, okay? So, we have our cups to measure, and we have our teaspoon and our tablespoon, all of our ingredients. All the ingredients ready to roll, right? Andy, you good? Yeah, that's fine. Everybody has an older helper with them, so that's great. And of course, when you have a helper, I have helpers too, as you know. I have my daughters, Jillian and Mallory here. Jillian doing the filming on my iPhone, and Mallory doing all the logistics and all the IT with the Zoom and everything. So everyone say hi to Jillian and Mallory.
Hi. Hi.
Hi. Good. All right, excellent. We got all the ingredients ready, handy, and so we're gonna make some Chex Mix now, okay?
We need goldfish.
Goldfish, I love goldfish. So, first thing that we're gonna do, we're gonna preheat the oven.
No. Goldfish.
We're gonna preheat 150, 250 helpers.
Cheese or goldfish?
So we're gonna preheat, okay? And does everybody have a stick of butter ready to go on the stove? Pan. Or in the microwave. You can microwave, you can do it however you want. I'm just gonna turn mine on here, just to get it going, because we want this to start melting now. What we're gonna do is, we're gonna take our seasoned salt, okay, and whatever brand you have is fine, and we're gonna measure into like a smaller cup, 3 teaspoons. So 3 teaspoons of the salt. So if you spill a little, it's fine. It doesn't really matter. If you spill over the edge, it's okay, because the measurements are not like totally exact. So you want to kind of get like that and put it in. So that was 3 of the teaspoon. Okay. What we're doing with the seasoned salt is we're going to add it to the butter.
That's what he said, teaspoon.
So we want to come over, we want to sprinkle it over the butter that's melting. The reason that we're doing this is because salt is granular, and the butter will help it melt so that it becomes just flavored butter. Okay? Now I have a little wooden spoon. I'm just going to give it a stir, because we want the salt to kind of melt in with the butter. You can see that it's darker in color, and it's just going to mix in, and as it heats, the salt will dissolve, and then it will just be like a flavored butter. Okay? You turn it down. I'm going to turn it down a little now, because now we're going to start with the other ingredients while this melts.
That's not a full. Put it back in.
Okay, I'm turning it down kind of on a low heat, just so that it starts to melt. Okay. Now,
give people a second.
Yep, I will.
Okay, fill it.
Yum.
Spoon, otherwise it's not free. Okay, wow, it's too loud.
All right, everybody get ready when you're ready. And then we have 2 of these aluminum pans, or you have an aluminum pan and a big bowl. I like to use the aluminum pan because it gives me room to use my hands. If you're in a bowl, you're kind of stuck in there, but that's okay if you have a bowl, it's fine. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our pretzels, and we're gonna measure out, 1.5. This is a 2-cup container, so we're gonna take out, about 1.5. But because the pretzels take up a lot of room, we can kind of fill it up. We can actually throw a couple extra pretzels in, So we're gonna dump the pretzels into the pan.
Everybody good?
Everybody got the pretzels in the pan?
Oops, no.
Okay, we're still waiting.
Okay.
Hold on.
All right. No problem.
I see people adding pretzels.
We want to break the pretzels. We want to take them in our hands and break them up.
Oh, break them up. Break them up.
Break them up.
What do you do with butter?
What'd you say?
What do you do with the butter?
We're going to get to the butter. See, what we're doing is we're breaking the pretzels now while the butter is melting. So we're not waiting for the butter. Yeah, just trying to get sort of sizes all the ingredients, all the pretzels to be so they kind of match. So once we have that on, set this up for 1 minute. Then our get the butter. And now the butter is nicely melted. And this is where I take my white spatula. We'll stir. And we're going to pour it in the pan. And then get those good. And it's hot, so touch the edges. And then spread the butter over the pan. Let me do it. Does everybody everybody up to speed? They have their butter in the pan? Because next, we're going to measure the Worcestershire.
That's enough. Put the butter in
Everybody here your sauce with their tablespoon. That's the one with the tea. It's the bigger one. The tablespoon sugar.
bigger tablespoon.
Yeah, it's the one with the big T on it. The big T, not the little T. The cap. Okay. So is we're going to pour 4 of these into the butter. So we're going to pour the Worcestershire in and stir it in. Okay. Okay. 2.
I think I can mix it.
And 4. And then I'm just going to throw a little extra in just for the heck of it. And we're going to set this aside now because we're done with that. Now we're going to take our spoon or our fork and we're just mix the Worcestershire in with the butter. You want to get it all mixed together nicely, okay? So that it's all kind of like, you see that the brown is all mixed in with the butter. Doesn't that smell interesting? Worcestershire is an interesting flavor. It's gonna make this Chex Mix taste so good later when it all gets going. Now, and once it's all mixed pretty well.
Was there a question?
Anybody have a question?
How much sauce do we need anyway?
So if you're still doing the Worcestershire, you need to measure out 4 tablespoons and dump it into the butter, 4 of them, of the measuring spoon with the capital T, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is what it's like when you're done. The butter is mixed with the salt, the seasoned salt, and the Worcestershire, so it makes kind of like a little brown liquid in the bottom of the pan, okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna put this pan in the oven that's been getting warm. And the reason that we're gonna do that is because once we start putting the ingredients in and we start mixing the ingredients, we don't want it we want it to stay melted. So we're just gonna put this in the oven for a few minutes, okay? Now remember, later, we really need to use our mitts because I'm gonna put the mitts right over here so I don't forget. Because we wanna make sure that when we take the pan out later, when we're holding it with a mitt or with, you know, if you have one of these. Mine has funny little dogs on it. They're saying rough and gur. Now we're gonna go back to our other pan. Okay, back to our other pan. And now we're gonna do some other measuring, okay? We're gonna measure the different Chex mixes. So we have wheat Chex, corn Chex, and rice Chex. And you know, honestly, you can really kind of use any crunchy thing you like, but these are good because there's 3 different ones. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna open up our things and we're gonna measure out. First, I'm starting with the wheat Chex. This is a 2-cup container. So I'm putting 2 cups and I'm gonna dump it in with the pretzels. And I'm gonna throw in a few extras. So we're done with the wheat Chex.
2 cups of every Chex.
2 cups of each Chex, yes. Now I'm gonna move on to the next one. The next one that I have in my hand here is the corn Chex. And again, I'm gonna measure out 2 cups. Dump it in, throw a little extra. This means fun. And then I'm gonna take the rice Chex and do the same thing. The 2 cups. If you have 1 cup, obviously you're gonna fill it up twice. I happen to have this 2-cup container. So now I'm gonna fill it up with the rice Chex. And I'm gonna dump that in and throw a little extra. Okay. Now what we're gonna do,
How's that going?
everybody good? How are you doing?
Looks like people are pouring the last of it now, so we'll just wait a sec.
Okay, we'll wait for a moment.
Not everyone has a 2-cup container.
That's okay. I can use the 1 cup. I have a 1 cup. That's okay.
We kind of did it a little wrong.
What's that?
We kind of did it a little wrong, so I had to start over.
Oh, what happened?
We did it wrong, I think.
Wait,
Put the pretzels.
do you have a pan with the dry cereal in it like this?
Yes, he's mixing it.
Take this and we're gonna mix it with our hands. We're gonna mix the pretzels and the Chex Mix with our hands. We're gonna mix it up.
Take it out. Put the wheat Chex in first, right? Put it in.
Pretzel that's big, you can break it up again. You know, you can break it up. If you find it, break it. See, I have one. So I'm going to break it up because we want them all to be kind of the same size. We want them to be small. On that. Like that. Inside, now we're going to go back over to the oven. And this is where the mitts are important. We have to put our mitt on. So I'm going to take a mitt and I'm going to take one of these. And I'm going to, now the helper will do this. Take the pan out of the oven.
Can I
Form. See, it got very thin. Before it was getting room temperature, it was getting kind of thick, but now it's nice and thin. Remember, leave the mitt on the edge because we don't want any of you to touch the pan with your bare hands because this pan is now warm and it's hot, okay? We don't want anybody to get burned. So I'm going to switch hands here and I can hold it like this because now, one second, I'm going to do this slow. Remember, don't touch the edges. Now we're gonna do the Cheerios. We're gonna take our Cheerios box, okay? And this time I'll use the 1 cup one.
Good catch.
So we're gonna measure like 1.5 cups of the Cheerios. So that's 1 cup. We're gonna just pour it in over the butter. 1 cup and then a little, and then some more. And then we're gonna pour it in over the butter, okay? So the Cheerios are now getting in with the butter. And it's so good. We love that. The Cheerios later, when you eat the Cheerios, I promise you, they're gonna be the best salty, tasty Cheerios you've ever had. We're gonna take our spoon and we're gonna mix this around a little bit. Okay? You wanna get the Cheerios all nice and covered with the mixture, okay? And then next, spread them out. Again, this is, now the pan probably isn't too hot, so you're probably okay. If you wanna just touch it, see, I can touch mine, so the pan is now not too hot, okay? Next, we're gonna take our nuts. Now, if you can't eat nuts or you don't have nuts, you can use wheat thins, or if you have like Ritz crackers, you can really, any crunchy snack is okay. But I like to put some nuts in, and the original recipe calls for nuts. So I have a can of mixed nuts, and I have a can of almonds, because I happen to really like almonds. They're my favorite nut. So I'm gonna mix these together in this bowl that I have. Again, this is one of these great bowls that it's from my mother and my sister's shop in Maine, Seaside Creations. This is a bowl that they carved out of a log of wood. I mean, it's just amazing that there are people that are talented like that. And then I'm gonna pour the extra almonds in. Okay. And now I'm just gonna give them a quick little mix with my hand. And then I'm gonna dump the nuts in over the Cheerios. And I'm gonna set this aside. Now I'm gonna take my spoon and get the nuts in with the butter now. See how the nuts are getting all covered with the butter? You can see that they're getting shiny, you know? They get shiny in color. And so that's what we want. We want the nuts and the Cheerios to get all covered with the melted butter, with the seasoning and the Worcestershire. You can't really overstir it, but I'm getting there. I'm pretty good. Everything looks pretty shiny. Does everybody have like a shiny mixture going on with the butter? How we doing?
Give a wave.
Give a wave if you're up to speed on that.
Looks like people are mixing, so
Okay, keep mixing. That's good. Mix away. I'm gonna take I'm gonna take a swig of my Smart Water. We want Smart Water to sponsor Tuesday's Children, and we'd like General Mills to sponsor, you know, Tuesday's Children. We'd like Nabisco to sponsor Tuesday's Children. We need sponsors, okay? Pepperidge Farm. We have all of our favorites. All right, so if everybody's ready, give a wave. If your pan with the Cheerios and the nuts are all mixed together in a good way, okay?
we've got some people waving. Some people I can't see, but I'm gonna assume that they're okay.
All right, now we're gonna go back to the other pan.
Muted us. Oh.
The other pan has our Chex cereal and our pretzels in it, broken pretzels, and we're gonna dump that over this.
There you go. Dump it.
And we're gonna stir this a lot. We wanna go down low and pull up. Down low and pull up so that the nuts and the Cheerios that have all the butter on them start mixing really well with the Chex and the pretzels. So go over to the sides, down and up, sides, down. You see how the nuts come out and the Cheerios come out on top? We're not in a hurry here. You just want to get it all so that all that butter now starts to get mixed onto the Chex and the pretzels. Just keep stirring because there's a lot of butter down there that we want to get all over the Chex, all over the cereal and the pretzels. You want them all to get mixed really, really well. You can't really overmix this. Just keep mixing and mixing. You really can't overmix it. Because you can still, if you look, you can still see that there's a lot of butter on the bottom. Of course, when we put this in the oven later and we mix it after it's been in the oven, it'll all get absorbed and the whole mix will taste really, really good when you eat it later on after it cools.
How's the mixing going,
How's
everybody?
everybody's mixing and going? Everybody good? Can you give a wave?
I got a wave. I got a thumbs up. I got some people eating some snacks.
Good. You're allowed to sample on the as you go through. If you find a big pretzel, you can chop it with the spoon. Some of the big pretzels snuck through, so you can just break them with the spoon. Now what we're gonna do? How's our time? Well, we're good. We're in good shape. Okay, I'm just gonna give it one more stir, and now we're gonna go on to the either the Cheez-Its or the goldfish. So if you have Cheez-Its, that's fine. If you have goldfish I like because the goldfish are fun. They're little, cheddary fish that are smiling. And we like that. What we're gonna do is we're gonna put in about a cup and a half of the potatoes. Goldfish, sorry.
Or
Goldfish.
Cheez-Its.
Goldfish. I'm gonna put a little more in. But like a cup and a half. That's a good amount. And
Or Cheez-Its.
Or Cheez-Its. Yeah, we can, you know what? And if you have both, you can add a little of both, I'm just going to dump a few Cheez-Its in anyway, just because why not, A few Cheez-Its, we're good.
Nice.
And if you had the Wheat Thins before with the nuts, Wheat Thins are good too. You can even add some Wheat Thins to this. Like I said, if you have Ritz crackers, any crunchy, snack like this, you can certainly add. So now we're going to mix the goldfish in with the rest. Again, down and up, down from the bottom, down to the bottom and up, so that all the cheesy crackers, the goldfish, and the Cheez-Its get mixed in really well, okay? All right, we're almost done. I think this looks pretty well mixed. And what we're going to do, there's a few notes now for the helper, because I know you got, all of you Tuesday's children, you have another class. You're going to take your art class, and then you're going to take your yoga class, because this mixture now has to cook for about 1 hour and 20 minutes. So basically, the way it's going to work is we're going to put it in the oven, and the helper, for the first 20 minutes, you want to pull it out about every 5 minutes and give it a good stir, because the butter will start to settle back down. So for the first 20 minutes, every 5 minutes, you're going to pull it out while the kids are in the other classes, okay? So what we can do is we can put this in the oven now, and I'm going to reiterate this, we're going to put it in the oven. The reason that we want to mix it a lot in the beginning is because in the beginning, when it starts to get warm, the butter is still melting, but what we want to do is we want all of the liquid that's in the butter and the Worcestershire sauce to evaporate. This way, it'll become nice and crunchy, and it won't be like wet, and the pieces won't be soft. So that's why it has to be in the oven for about 1 hour and 20 minutes.
Okay,
So first,
it's if you put it in at 9:30.
yes,
That means at 9:35, 9:40, 9:45, and 9:50, you shake it,
you give it a stir
stir it, and shake it,
and put it back in,
and then until
and then after that, like
10:30.
yeah, and then after that, every like 15 minutes for the next hour or 45 minutes, so about 10:30, 10:45, you're going to take it out every 15 minutes and give it a good stir. And what you should do, the helpers, because the kids will be involved with the other classes, so the helper is going to do probably a lot of this work from the oven. You just want to make sure that you get down to the bottom so that you see that the butter is definitely mostly gone, okay? That's an important deal. 20 minutes to 45 minutes. Then, when it's after about 11:15, between 11:15 and 11 o'clock this morning, you're going to take it out. And you're going to want to let it cool for about 1 hour. Okay, it's going to take about 1 hour to get it cool. And that'll take you almost to the end of the series here, so the timing works perfectly. Now, kids, I forgot to talk about this last week, but we have to help clean up. Clean up is almost more important than actually making the food. So after your yoga class is over, there's going to be some leftover things, like the cereal boxes have to be closed up and put away in a cabinet. So you need to help your helper close all the different things up after your yoga class and get everything put away. If you have to wash utensils like the spoon and the tablespoon, you need to, you want to be able to help them do all the cleanup, okay? We don't run outside and play. You need to come in and you need to make sure you stay and help them clean up the kitchen. You can play after you clean up. All right, so now remember, Kids Cooking with Chris. We need you to hashtag that, okay? If you're going to post anything on Facebook or Instagram, we want you to hashtag Kids Cooking with Chris. Of course, you can always, on the original recipe that everybody got, we want to always tag and hashtag Tuesday's Children, because we're so delighted and thrilled to be part of this series with Tuesday's Children. And we want to thank all of you for spending some time in my kitchen with my daughters, Jill and Mal's. And thank you so much for today. Remember, 20 minutes, 5 minutes, and then every 15 minutes for the next 45 minutes to an hour after that, helpers, you'll be done and you'll turn the oven off by 11:15 or 11 o'clock.